Well, we can't paint all of Scientology like that because of a few bad eggs. You know, Tom Cruise is a Scientologist, and he's an American hero.
Yeah.
Is he?
Touche.
Yeah, he's an American hero. He's in those movies I haven't seen that military enrollment or something.
That's actually true. Tom Cruise has done more for the armed forces than the average person by a factor of a million,
general
right? Like I bet he's gotten so many people to sign up for the Navy, or the stupider people to try to sign up for the Air Force.
Wow. I never thought of that before, but yeah, he plays a lot of military roles, huh?
There's a lot of guys driving trucks for the Air Force because they watch Top Gun.
Sitting behind a desk somewhere.
I want to be like Tom Cruise. They're like, that's actually yes, sign right here.
I was going to say, do you think that, because naval aviator to me is as cooler than Air Force?
Yeah.
And that might be because of Top Gun.
I think that I don't know how it works, but I would just guess that like those are the guys who get to do shit a lot of the times. Like if you're on an aircraft carrier, they might sell you up within striking distance of wherever the fuck I stand, and you get to fly off some missions, then land back on the boat and eat like real chow and sleep in your cot. And that's almost as good of a gig as those guys who are out in Vegas fucking dropping shit with a drone and then like going home that night to their house, drinking beer in the backyard. Like, smoked a lot of Afghanis today, honey. A lot of them.
That's got to be a not very fulfilling way to go to war, though.
You serious?
Like, because you
like Call of Duty, I guess.
The way that like that,
Predator
like,
missile inbound.
Imagine like a SEAL Team 6 guy or like a combat Marine is like at the barbecue you're at, and he's giving his war stories, and you're like, yeah, there was this one time my internet almost went out.
The Wi-Fi flickered and almost bombed the daycare.
Yeah.
And
one time the internet did go out.
That
so
Navy
I had to go
SEAL
get
is going to
Chipotle.
be like, dude, I went there, shit got real. I got 3 kills. My team got 18 kills, and we got out. And he's like, 18 kills for your whole team? That's a slow day for me.
Yeah.
You know how many weddings I took out last month? Those Arab weddings are packed.
And he took out all of them with approval of
some of those guys have crazy kill records for sure. That's what I would want to do. That's the number one job in the military, if you ask me. It's operating a drone from safety, wherever that is. Like maybe you got to be in Germany, or maybe you've got to be like quasi in the battlefield. Like it's right over that ridge. That's where they are. But like you're still the safest guy out there. Yeah,
I don't think you should be able to. Yeah, I don't think they should be giving out medals for the drone guys who are like in Texas.
What?
Like what?
I don't know about
Purple Heart. You fucking my ACL.
My carpal tunnel.
You get a paper cut in your
gaming so hard.
All right, Purple Heart for drone operation is hilarious.
I love that idea. I like that you would fake a thumb injury or like a hangnail to get one.
You get $4,800 a month for the rest of your life because you hurt your thumb on the keyboard.
Because that's how it works. If you're in, like, I'm sure you've seen those examples. There's the one guy in Band of Brothers, I think, who's got 4 Purple Hearts, and one of them was for lancing a boil on his ass that he got while in the field fighting the enemy. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't think we're going to count that boil on your ass. So, hey, I shed blood in service of my country in the field of battle. Say I didn't. Well, you're actually.
Technically.
Here you go.
Yeah.
I heard that in Vietnam, that medals got much easier to earn. It was part of like a morale effort.
And there were way more people percentage-wise who were injured and wounded, right? Than World War II.
The amount of time that they were in combat was way more. Yeah. So I'm sure it was both. I'm sure they're like, hey, we don't have any bonuses or beer, but we got medals. Can we go home if we get a medal? Oh, no. We're going to need heroes for the fight ahead.
And also, people were protesting Vietnam, like it was not a popular war at all. So makes sense they might start dishing out the medals, I guess. Try and make people feel like, oh, we're rewarding the soldiers, stop spitting on them, please.
I think Vietnam's my second favorite war. Like World War II takes the cake. Like that's the fucking goat.
Wait, all-time wars? You both of your top 2 are in the 20th century? Oh, okay.
Okay, American wars.
No, like Napoleon's fucking champ.
That was a cool war.
You gotta go back to that.
He was the champ.
He's the champ. Like he conquered Europe, and they were like, "Oh, get out of here!" And he was like,
He became the king of Italy at one point, just throwing another W in the mix.
You know what they did to him after he slaughtered all of Europe a couple times? They gave him his own island to retire on. Like what the fuck? Like get out of here.
Yeah, they banished him if I'm not mistaken, right?
Banishment to his own private island with like a castle on it.
It's like a war hall of fame that he got to go live there.
But yeah, Vietnam is.
I didn't know he had servants and stuff.
That's a silver medal war there. Now I know people like to say, oh, America lost. Come on, like by what measurements did we lose? I don't think we ever lost a battle. Kill death ratio, battles won. All right, we all show up here and we fight it out.
Yeah, I feel like Kyle's playing
still
for
here and they're all dead.
And the Vietnamese played for wins. So at the end of the day,
they played domination.
They owned more land. They won domination, and Kyle got a good KD and thinks he did well, but you didn't.
But what is the ultimate goal of why we went to the war? Are we trying to? And I'm not saying that specifically for Vietnam. I mean, in general, would that not be considered the victory is to obtain what your initial military goal was? If that's toppling an empire, whatever it may be, taking over a capital city. However, if you don't achieve that goal, it then defaults to the KD ratio and domination. And by that, we won big time, baby.
It's our space race.
If you look at Vietnam today, like they're democratic, and I'm sure they've got, or not. I don't know if they're democratic or not, probably, but they're definitely on. They're capitalist. Right? Yeah. And they seem to be on team us. It's interesting. I always hear that when Americans go there, they're like, hey,
don't shoot.
My cousin.
I had to look it up. Welcome back. Vietnam is a socialist republic with a one-party system led by the Communist Party. So that's pretty.
That doesn't sound good.
I mean, to be fair,
that is an L.
I'm down with that and all. I get that, but I also say that most communist countries or quote unquote communist countries have no choice but to engage in some form of capitalist trade with capitalist countries, So they're like functionally, they're capitalist, but in regard to oppressing their people, they're socialist.
Yeah.
But if all it takes to like qualify as capitalist is like some form of trade, then every nation is capitalistic.
That's a good point. Yeah. I was thinking more of like the global market of exchanging currencies and things as opposed to, them trying to be self-contained and we can take care of this ourselves. But that's a very good point. I mean, bartering is bartering. It is a part of all trade systems.
What surprised me, the third largest weapons exporter on the planet is South Korea.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Russia than South Korea.
Apparently, they got Russia and then South Korea?
Yes. For exports.
South Korea is probably going to be ahead of them this year.
Ahead of Russia?
I think I heard that too. Yeah. Because Russia's not exporting anymore. Yeah.
They need their guns.
And South Korea apparently makes really good shit because South Korea and North Korea have been prepping for war for 70 years. Their stockpiles are enormous. North Korea tends to go with huge stockpiles of shitty stuff, and South Korea tends to go with smaller stockpiles of more high-tech stuff, which is why their exports are interesting.
Yeah, Europe's arming itself right now. Poland, in particular, is building the biggest military in Europe right now, and they're buying they're buying a mix. It seems like they're like, I like the South Korean radar jammers, but I love those American planes. You got any of those South Korean body armor? That's the good shit. They're like taking they're I'll take some of this and some of that. Yeah. So they bought a bunch of stuff from us, and I know they bought a bunch of stuff from them. And when I say a bunch of stuff, they're buying like $300 million worth of shit at a time. It's great.
They should buy from every country. They should play every side, so they always come out on top. Have a little bit of Russian stuff, a little Korean stuff, a little American.
So the reason they're not buying Russian stuff is then you become dependent on Russia to maintain your shit. And if they're the people attacking you, you're in a tricky spot.
Come on, Matt.
I thought Russian shit was super easy to maintain because it's like older and like
you need parts though, right? So like the Russian, if you have a whole fleet of MiGs and Russia and you're going to war with someone who's an ally of Russia, even like one of the stands or something, then Russia will be like, oh, no more parts for your helicopters. And something like a helicopter that needs all that air maintenance that needs new whatever the fuck and new rotors or whatever. Yeah. It's like, we need those or we can't fly them. The U.S. did that to Iran back in the day. Iran had a lot of U.S. planes, F-14 Tomcats, I think. Like, oh, wow. Good luck.
Shit out of luck.
Yeah. You got about 500 more operational hours before they all need an O-ring that only we make, and immediately they just had a bunch of junk.
Tanks too. Apparently it's super common for tanks to get damaged but not destroyed. So, you just haul them back, fix them, put them back in service. But if you don't have parts, you're in trouble.
Tanks are so cool.
Form of warfare.
At the start of the Ukrainian war, there was a conversation about whether tanks were obsolete because they kind of seemed that way. It seemed like they were super expensive and hard to make and just a big investment. And it wasn't that big a deal to break tanks. But as it's carried on, it turns out you need tanks.
It's been the war continues on. I really hope that it just never ends. I'm a big fan of the war. Fan is the word. Fan is the word.
Bad news for you. At this rate, Ukraine takes all their territory back in just 67 years.
So,
eat a day.
Eat your heart out.
Is nothing moving over there now?
So
67 years.
All right. The short answer to that is yes. It's not moving very much. The long answer is Russia has a lot of their defenses kind of stacked right up on the front line. And Ukraine is making progress at piercing that front line, but very little. But you can't say what I just did, which is, it's going to take 67 years to reach the sea. Because once you really properly penetrate that front line, then you can pick up miles per day. And that is the way it's trending. But yeah, slow start. But then, once you break through, you can probably get all the way to the sea. Anyway, so they're kind of breaking through. Let's hope that turns into better land gains.
Let's hope they stop funding it with all of our money. That would be great. Maybe spend a little here for our people.
Yeah, that's not what they'll do. That's not what they'll do at all. They'll just do a tax cut for corporations or something.
Yeah,
that's what they did before.
Money well spent.
Into another proxy war.
Loving it. This is our fate. This is the best proxy war we've had. Maybe
you're
ever.
Crazy.
This is better. This is like Afghanistan 1 when we were given the stingers to the Mujahideen, the gallant men of the Mujahideen. Those fucking Russians came over.
Yes, and Afghanistan panned out so well.
I mean, not for the Russians.
Yeah, Taylor, I don't think anything ever went wrong.
Don't bring up Afghanistan 2 when I'm talking about Afghanistan 1.
I mean, it's a series.
Bringing up 9/11.
That's Afghanistan. That's one.
You're crazy if you just want to fund this shit forever.
Against the common advice, I have forgotten 9/11, and it was a really good idea to fund the Afghanis.
Yeah, we should fund this as long as they want to fight.
You're crazy.
It's beautiful. It's a great thing. No Americans are dying, Taylor. It's just it's just pennies. It's just pennies, not a big deal. Yeah, pennies, don't worry about it.
Enormous sums of money.
Tiny amounts of money in the grand scheme of things.
It's so much
it's
money.
Kyle's right though.
Here's how I think of it. Not only are we, because our weapon systems are doing so well, all those countries around the world who are seeing the planet a bit destabilized right now are like, give me $1 billion worth of American shit. Give me $2 billion of it. So we're selling lots of weapons right now, which is a great thing.
Wait, your problem was that the money wasn't going to go to American people, but it goes to Halliburton and Lockheed, and so it's like good now.
Yes.
So wait, you wanted it to go to American people, but now that it goes to American people, you're not happy? Come on,
those aren't American people. Those are
some are.
Giant
they make the shells in Alabama,
company.
Taylor. They make the shells in Alabama.
Why don't we fix our fucking roads and get universal healthcare?
They make the shells in Alabama, Taylor. Do you care about? Oh, now it's big business and infrastructure, but the poor son bitch in Alabama that's making artillery shells.
Give me fucking healthcare. He's
getting triple overtime. God damn it, Taylor. This is great for our economy, which needs it right now because we're about to slip into that recession they've been talking about for half a decade. It's wonderful.
But this time it's real.
Wondrous. This time it's real. We promise. The economists scream, and I don't know anything enough to disagree. But this is wonderful, Taylor. Like our enemies are bleeding. Like all right. So think about it this way: we were already going to spend X amount of money on, say, national defense. That's based on the threats around the world, right? We're like, we need to be able to fight a global war on 2 different oceans, right? That's been our military mantra since World War II. Every day the Russians get weaker as a military. That means we don't need as big of a military anymore. Now, I'm not saying they're going to cut the military, but if a war were to pop off between us and Russia proper, man, it's going to be a weakened Russia. It's going to be a weakened Russia. They look bad in front of their allies. It's easier for us to make deals and bully China and win little territorial things because their ally Russia looks
tangible
so shitty, and
gains for Americans, though.
Tangible. You want tangibility and geopolitics? This is fun. This is James Bond shit.
No. We want better roads.
They sent a commando on a jet ski the other day, and he got
we could do that at like a fucking show off the
that
coast.
Guy's ass right now. It wasn't our guy though. That's the best part, Taylor. It's their guys. They just want some spending money.
I can't believe you guys are still in favor.
I love it. I love it.
Long.
I can't wait till we really start giving them cool shit. I'm glad the Abrams tanks are about to arrive that they've been training on for a whole fucking year. I can't wait to see that. One's never been destroyed by a hostile like fire.
I think they've arrived.
Well, I want to see them on the battlefield. I want to see. I've already seen propaganda of like burnt ones on the battlefield from
Can't
Russia.
You just
and they're
watch
like
movies? Like in
movies, they don't have Abrams in movies. They dress up chieftains and stuff.
I watch combat footage. Movies.
This is great. I don't know what your
not
beef
a very
is.
good ROI.
You
It's
don't
the
like
best
American
ROI
dollars
ever.
actually getting some.
It's
some
not
work done.
We spent it's like 3% of our defense budget goes.
That's
to
so
Ukraine.
much
it's
money.
A tiny amount, but it's like compared to our defense budget, it means nothing. And it's not like we're giving them new Humvees. We're giving them Humvees that we would have otherwise sent to like police or just mothballed.
What were we going to do with those artillery
20-year-old
shells,
Humvees that were
Who
going
are we going to artillery strike, Taylor? Who?
We could have spent it on something else.
Taylor, we're giving them artillery. I'm just.
It doesn't.
saying,
Yeah, I don't. I feel like you're locked up and it has to go to the army.
They make them in Alabama. They make the artillery shells in Alabama, and they make the fucking anti-tank rockets in Alabama. And there's a dude in Alabama named fucking Pete or some shit, and he's got double overtime because we're funding Zelensky, and I like that.
Printing money and inflation is ridiculous.
What's new? It's $33 trillion. Did you know that's the deficit?
It's going up every day.
Trillion.
More than ever in a day. A couple days ago.
No one cares, though. That's made up money. A trillion's an impossible number to even fathom. I don't care.
It's definitely real money. It's
I don't think it is. I don't believe it is. I think once you get to 33 trillion, we're at the point where everyone knows that, like, hey, if we were to actually try to make the U.S. pay, we would just start some sort of a global war with us, right? And then they would change just like press delete and ask if we wanted peace, right? I think it'll be okay, Taylor. Make it 35 trillion and let's kill some Ruskies.
Can we get like
Genius
universal health care in there at some point?
No, Taylor, we don't have money for universal health care. Stop being ridiculous.
Yes, universal health care can only happen though if we get those borders under control. Because I'm not paying for all those Ukrainian war victims. All right, you lose your limbs in Crimea. I'm not paying for that. Okay, I'll give you the bombs.
Building the wall.
You get a peg leg, maybe.
He's building the wall again. He's gonna
again, but yeah. Apparently, there are like some rules he just waived, and he's building the wall. Like, fuck it. Apparently, this is a place where Mexicans are crossing the border, and they would benefit from a wall, and Biden's for it.
Actually,
okay,
build two walls
because I do my research even further left than Woody. Biden said, they asked Biden, do you believe the border wall works? Nope, it will not help. I did everything I could to take that money that had been appropriated for border walls and do anything else with it, but I can't. It's beyond my power, and so it will be spent on a wall. That's Biden's take on the whole thing.
Because he did it to avoid the shutdown.
Because he does not want that situation where the Republicans would be like, so you're building the wall, huh? Did you use Trump's specifications, or is this a fancier wall that you came up with? Oh, it's Trump's specifications. Oh. So he did 500 miles of it. How much have you put up? Well, we're building it right now. So it's just not a good conversation. It's better if he can be like, there's nothing we could do. Trump ordered it. The money's already on the way. I can't divert it, and I don't think it'll work. I
generally don't like the idea of a wall. It's not that I don't like the idea of a border, or an enforced border, but walls seem really asymmetrical in terms of like the cost and benefit. If you build a Ballard wall like those things, 15 minutes and a cordless angle grinder gets you through it. If you make it 4 foot thick and stone, then it's $1 trillion and a ladder defeats it. Like a wall just doesn't provide the benefit that its cost.
I mean, the goal was never
for
people to show up like a video game and be like, I can't get through this hedge. Like, it was to slow down crossing so that border control could get there.
And that's feasible. For them to slow it down, at least, for sure.
I don't know why they can't use like infrared cameras or something for a much more cost-effective way to get people to the right place.
They just need to start turning people away.
I think the amount of infrared cameras you would need would be just an operator.
One every quarter mile on a tower,
operators
something like that.
I think they already have those infrared cameras, and the purpose of them
I saw them on my
is
trip.
that like the wall slows people down. Walls absolutely slow people down. That's why walls are everywhere. You want to prevent people and slow people from entering.
Yeah, they just built the wall that's between fucking Poland and Ukraine is pretty ridiculous. No, it was between Belarus and whatever fucking country that they were allowing all of those people to flow through. I remember there was some sort of a political thing where like they were sending all of the Belarusians advertised in Africa so that people would fly to Belarus and then they could pump them into, and I don't remember who the country right next to them is, but they were doing that to them. And so that country came to engineers in America and asked about our border wall, and they built one to stop that from continuing to happen. I can't remember what country that is. I don't fucking know.
Why don't we get in the wall business and build the absolute best walls in the world and then sell walls to all the countries that want them?
We need moats, people. Stop with the walls. Moats are clearly the answer. We've already got the Rio Grande
both?
Right there.
Crocodile maintenance alone will drain the economy.
Now we're helping the
you don't have to maintain them. There's a fresh supply of food. I'm a lot more no mercy with this whole thing than I think the average person. I see them as invaders. Anyone who steps across that line, if I invaded Mexico on foot, I would expect to maybe get shot. That would not surprise me in the slightest. If I was shot by a Mexican for invading their country across their fucking border. We already agreed what that border was after the Mexican-American War, when we bullied that smaller country and took a third of their space.
Maybe it's time for War II, the Mexican-American War.
We should push it back a little more. I think that's what I would do.
I just want Baja California.
Let's take Cancun.
In the interest of national security and the safety of the American public, we're pushing the border back. It's not good the way it is. We need a demilitarized zone. And so we're going to take 40 miles of Mexico, the entire length of the border. And that's not Mexico anymore. That's a DMZ. That's a neutral zone. And international law doesn't apply there, by the way. And
meanwhile, there's like so much population right up against America. Like Tijuana.
Oh, they're Americans now.
Gotta go.
Shit. No.
Yeah, I was going to say 40 miles in, and you got a lot of Mexico.
That's why it's a DMZ. They've got to evacuate that area. They're going to get pushed further back into Mexico. See how they like it.